What's going on, guys? Yang with HardyTech, and welcome to Pokemon Countdown. Today we're going to be covering my top 5 favorite legendary Pokemon. This is a list I've been meaning to do for a while now. In all of my past lists, I've always excluded legendary Pokemon, and it's for this very reason. I knew the day would come where I'd have to do a countdown of my favorite legendaries, and surprisingly, it's actually probably the easiest list I've ever done. It turns out, with the exception of 5th generation, I don't like too many of these guys. In fact, the only legendaries I don't like from Unova are Meloetta and the ones with the cloud underwear. But don't worry, this one won't be completely dominated by this region. As always, this list is 100% my opinion, but of course I want to know what your favorite legendaries are. Last time we went over our favorite evolutions, and not very surprisingly there was a ton of diversity on who you all thought was the best. So this time, let's cover the legends. I want you to tell me in the comments or via video response who your 5 favorite legendary Pokemon are. Of course, it's always more fun when you tell me why you like each Pokemon, but that is completely up to you. So without any more stalling, let's get on with this list. Just kidding, I have one more thing to say. In case you haven't noticed already, with this new format we're using today, you can click on each number on the side of the video and it'll take you to that point in the video where we talk about that Pokemon. Now, let's really get on with this list. Coming in at number 5 is one half of the Mew duo, Mew. Now let's be realistic here. Who doesn't love Mew? Seriously, just watch the first movie and tell me you wouldn't want to cuddle it. You could definitely make an argument that Mew is one of the cutest Pokemon of all. It's so innocent and playful and cuddly, it has all the qualities of a cute puppy, yet it oddly resembles a cat, which is quite confusing considering we all know that cats are the spawn of the devil. But maybe now that we think about it, Mew isn't exactly a pushover. It rocks 100 base stats across the board, has the very useful and trollful ability of Synchronize. Oh, and did I mention it can learn virtually every move in existence? Unfortunately, the only way you can obtain this Pokemon outside of events is in Pokemon Ranch, which I didn't even know existed for years. But this Pokemon has always been elusive in the anime, so I guess it only makes sense. Let's take some time to go over number 4, the fan-dubbed new Mew, Celebi. So I admit, I may be a little biased here. Of course, this is my list, so I guess that's kind of a given, but the 4th Pokemon movie is my favorite of all time. Although ironically, Suicune didn't make this list, but surprisingly, I've always been more fond of the cuter, smaller Pokemon, and Celebi definitely fits that list. As its nickname suggests, it's actually very similar to Mew, as they both have 100 base stats and similar overall designs, although Celebi does rock Natural Cure, which could be a lot more useful than Synchronize. Unfortunately, its typing doesn't really benefit it much, giving it 7 different weaknesses. Of course, Celebi could just travel back in time to when you were a little baby and destroy your soul beforehand. Bringing justice to this list at number 3 is Virizion. Not gonna lie, for a very long time I believe Nintendo sold its soul to Verizon as a weird form of promotion, although I also believe Throw's name was Thor for a very long time, and I still often say it's Thor. 5th gen confused me. So one thing that's always made me love a Pokemon is when it has an awesome moveset, and Virizion fits that perfectly. When I saw the amazing combination of fighting and grass-type moves it can learn, being able to fill both a physical and special attacking role as well as a special defensive role, I had to try one out. Now, I'd never seen Virizion before I first encountered one in Pokemon Black, and when I did, I had to catch it. I couldn't really explain why, but I just had a connection with it. Maybe because it's green. Well, I'm actually a fan of the entire Swords of Justice. By the way, I hate that name, but Virizion definitely stands out to most of me, and it makes me a little sad that it seems to get the least amount of love compared to Terrakion's amazing power, Keldeo's, well, let's face it, Keldeo's basically the Pokemon Rainbow Dash. Plus, whenever I have a Virizion on my team, I seem to get better cell phone service. This list is about to get a lot darker as we go to number 2, Yveltal. January 8th, 2013. That was the day Pokemon X and Y were announced. That was also the day I decided I'm getting Pokemon Y. From the second I saw Yveltal, I knew I had to have it. While I don't want to say anything bad about Xerneas, as the last thing I need is Rusty pissed off at me, it was a very easy decision for me. I'm going to go on record and say this. Yveltal may very well be the most badass, awesome Pokemon I've ever seen. I mean, its appearance alone just radiates destruction. When I actually captured mine, it completely lived up to my standards. You know, I actually came up with the theory that Yveltal is actually just a Lugia who bathed in the blood of its victims. And looking at some of the other Pokédex entries we've seen before, it really wouldn't be that surprising. But my favorite part of Yveltal might just be its signature move, Oblivion Wing, which aside from being an amazing move on its own right, may also have the coolest move animation in the entire game. And claiming victory at the top of this list is number 1, Victini. While we took a short break from the Mew and the Mew clones to highlight some bigger, more powerful Pokemon, it was only a matter of time until we returned to the adorable, but Victini also fills the same qualities that Virizion did, having an amazing move pool that I had to try out. Getting Fusion Flare, Fusion Bolt, as well as the most powerful non-sacrificial move in the game, V-Create, makes the Victory Pokemon a force to be reckoned with. I don't think many people would expect Victini to be the absolute powerhouse it is just by looking at its appearance, but that's just one of the things that makes it so much more amazing. Plus, Victini is the only Pokemon to have the number 000 in the Pokedex, which makes it all that much more amazing. When I started this list, Victini instantly took the #1 spot. It's my favorite legendary Pokemon as well as one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, and I can't see that changing anytime soon. Well, I definitely wasn't expecting this list to have 3 psychic types on it, considering normally I'm rather neutral to the type, but those 3 always stood out to me. So do you agree or disagree with my list? Well, here's your chance to have your voice heard. Once again, feel free to tell me your list down in the comments, guys. So that's going to wrap it up for us today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to show your support for the series and the many more to come in the future by leaving a like on this video. Until next time, I'm Hardy Tech Yo-Yo,